Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and on this video will give you a basic idea how you can make that design. See that picture on your screen? So I will show you how you can make it. But let me be clear, let me be honest. If you are barely start on this trade and you try to make something like that, it might take you longer, and you might try it 1, 2, or 3 times, and you will see it. That design doesn't come in like that what you are expecting. Why? Because you have to practice it and practice it more. If you are somebody who have been working on car interior, and sometimes we have to make a design double. Sometimes we have to figure out, and even spending time to figure out and try to make it. When we try, that design doesn't come in like we are expecting, and we have to make it again. Well, it is like that. Don't give up if you are trying 1 or 2 or 3 times and that design, it doesn't come in like that what you are expecting. So on this video will give you an idea how you can make it. One thing right here that I would say is critical is when you are going to sewing all those pieces together. That is critical. You have to have like at least the skill how to using the sewing machine, because I will show you how you can cut it, how you can put all those pieces with glue and everything, but you have to sew it. That process, it has to be perfect. Other way, those pieces might look crooked, might look weird. Okay, I'm going to make that template as a scratch. I'm going to use a 1.5 millimeter chipboard. I use this for some visor, and I'm going to show you how you can make a template. This template, most of the time that it insert is between 12 and 12 inches width by 24. That's the size that I'm going to give to this template. And one thing, you have to make sure to square the material in case if you are using a material that is not square. So it will be 13 inches divided by 2 will be 6.5. You can use any other material just to make the template. I prefer using this kind of chipboard because I can use this template for another design. And then I will give 5 inches right there. From the center line, I give it 2.5 and 2.5 to the other side. Then I will drop a line. I extract that line. Then I do the same thing right here. Extract that line too. And I do the same thing with those other 2 lines. This requires time. It's all about time. And then I will cut it. So right here it had 13 inches by 25. That's the size of that chipboard. Then I have to draw some more line because that design. If you have been working on this for a long time, you know that a lot of things that I will do it on this template are not necessary. But I am doing it in case if you are learning, in case if you never done something like this. That's why I am drawing all those lines. Then I give like 8 inches. Then I will give 4 inches. I will put somewhere 4 inches all the way down. And I will extract this line. So I got those lines, but those lines are not enough. I have to draw in some more line. And this is the top. And I will put right here 1.25 inches. From that line, I will put a mark 1.25 inches, same thing on the other side, 1.25 inches, and I will do the same with those other lines. So after I'm done putting those marks in there, I will drop a line. See it right there, and then I will do the same with those other marks that I just put in there. So this is almost done, but I have to put some other mark, and this mark will be 1/2 inch from the outside line to the inside, 1/2 inch. Same thing right here. So if the measurement from one line to another one was 5 inches, now it's gonna be 4 inches. And I strike a line. So I already done with those lines, but I had to put one more mark. And you will see it, that will be like right there, 10 inches, one mark to another one, and I strike a line. So you can see how many lines I am drawing into that chipboard are necessary. If you are learning, yes, I would say yes, it is necessary. So I will use these watches. You can use a different size just to make the shape. I'm going to use the small one, 1.5 inches is the width, because those ones are not square. So first I'm going to start right here. Start drawing, and you have to make sure the left and the right side, you have to be symmetrical. So I just put that in the corner, and I make like rounded in that part. I got one side already. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And you can see it right there. I can fold it by half. I can just drop that 1/2 and fold it by half and cut it. And that would be symmetrical. Both sides, but I am doing this. That way you can see it, that design. So I got him on there. And remember, the top piece is not the same with the bottom piece. So are different. So you have to draw the bottom part too. I got that part already. That's one. So right here, I'm going to put this is 1.5 inches. That mark that I just put is 1.5 inches. This is like the eyes of that picture in there. And I draw a line right there, but that part is not square, so I'm going to round it a little bit, and same thing on the other side. And I got it already, and you can see it. So I'm going to draw one more. I put a mark in there. I will put a mark at and a lot of mark in there, because those marks will be guide you when you are sewing on those pieces. And I do the same thing right here, and you can see it. Very important. If you use something it doesn't look right in the picture, make sure to correct that picture, that template, before you go into cut it. The vinyl or the leather or the material, make sure to correct it. And I do the same thing in there. So with these two pieces that I draw, I can keep drawing all the way to the bottom, but are not necessary, because the rest of the pieces are the same. I just need two pieces, the top and the bottom one. So from right that line to right that line is 4 inches, then from another one is 5, then it's 10, and then it's 13 inches. That is the side. 4, 5, 10, and 13. And then it's 8 inches, 1.25, and 2.5. And then the rest is the same. There you have it. 8, 1.25, 2.75, and 1.5. You can make a little bit smaller if you want. Oh, plus that one right there is 1.5 inches. Make sure that's all what you needed to draw that design. So now I'm going to cut that chipboard. I'm going to cut over those marks in there. You see, I folded by half. By folding by half, I am making sure when I cut it, to left and right side of that template, symmetrical. Has to be symmetrical. But first, I put some mark in there because they're so important. See how many marks that I put in there. Then I'm going to cut it. By cutting like that, I am making sure to both sides of that template are equal. I got one side, alright, that's the top piece. And I put a notches in there. And there you have it. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece. And same, I put a lot of mark in there. And I will cut this little piece in there. That little piece will be in a different color. I got him right there, and I put some mark in there too. So basically this is all what I need. All those pieces are 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, because the rest are the same. See them right there. 4 pieces. So what I'm going to do next? I'm going to start cutting the material. I'm going to put a 1/2 inch font, 1/2 inch thickness, plus I will use a 1/4 inch headliner, and I will glue those 2 pieces together. So most of those pieces will have a 3/4 inch thickness, and I will put glue. On both sides. So you can see it now. Raise up a little bit. So now I got the chipboard, I got the font. I will start cutting the font. you have to trace that font exactly by that chipboard. Remember, I give extra on the chipboard, on that template. It had extra on the side. But on the bottom, I just cut exactly. I didn't give extra, so I will make sure when I going to cut the vinyl to give it some extra for the seam allowance. Other way, those pieces are going to be short and not going to fit well. And I got 2 pieces. And I'm going to draw one more. This is the same too. And this is, I'm going to make this a little bit different because this is the last piece, the last bottom piece. So this has to be different than those two that I just draw. Remember to take some time right here drawing. Any mistake right here, you will be noticed through the vinyl, to the fabric, or even to the leather. So we'll draw a line right here because I'm going to cut it. So now I'm going to cut all those pieces. I'm just going to show you how you can cut the bottom. Then you are, by watching me cutting the bottom piece, you will figure out how to cut the rest. I am not giving nothing for the seam, the allowance. You can see them right there. I am cutting exactly on that line. So I got the bottom piece already, and I'm going to cut the rest of those pieces exactly like the way I cut the first piece. And you can see them. I already cut them on there. I'm going to add 1/4 of an inch more on the top piece. Why? Because I need to raise up that part. I need to look like a little bit higher than the rest. And you can put them on the bottom or you can put them on the top. I will put them on the top. Then I cut it all around. Okay, I got that template. I got the font. Now I'm going to cut the material. You can make it out of leather, you can make it out of vinyl. If you make it out of fabric, fabric is easier than vinyl and leather. This is the vinyl that I will use. All this is leftover from the job. Check this out. You saw me cutting the font without giving extra, right? And you saw me cutting that font and I didn't put market on that font. But right here, I will give some extra for the seam allowance and I will put a lot of mark on this vinyl. Those notches or mark are very important. So I draw all those pieces in there. Now I'm going to cut it and I will show you how you can cut one. I didn't give extra on the bottom piece, especially on the side. You see me just cutting exactly on top of that mark. But right here, I will give no 1/2 inch for the seam allowance. I will give 3/4 of an inch. And you can see me cutting the bottom piece. It's done. I'm not going to show you how you can cut the rest, but I'm showing you one. Now I am making those cuts on top of that mark. Those marks are so essential, so important. So make sure to put a lot of marks, especially if the piece that you are cutting or sewing is not straight. And I will cut all the rest. So after I'm done cutting all those pieces out of vinyl and putting those marks in there, I'm going to glue in those pieces to the phone. Don't put too much glue in here. It is not necessary. Not necessary. So and you can see the extra in there. So I got one piece. I will show you how you can do this one too, and then you can figure out how to do the rest. And there is the other piece in there. You see how those marks in there. I give extra on the hell and the vinyl, but I didn't give extra on the phone. That's what it looked like that. So I got those two pieces. Now we'll do the rest. I finished gluing the vinyl to the phone, and you can see it. It's kind of heavy right now because it is the vinyl plus the 1/4 of an inch headliner plus the 1/2 inch is kind of heavy. But to make that design, I had to cut some pieces out of this vinyl. This is like for the eyes of that picture, and I put glue in there, and I will start drawing that design. Those are, and I'm going to use the template. You see me cutting that piece of the sheetboard? Well, I just will put them on here, and I will draw it and give it like 1/2 inch for the seam allowance. Right there. And I will draw 5 more pieces like that one. And one thing right here, guys, just remember, if you pay attention to the photo that I showed you at the beginning of this video, that part right there look lower than the rest. So that's what I am, instead of adding 1/2 inch, I just put 1/4 of an inch thickness font. That's all what I needed. If you put like 1/2 inch, that design is not going to look the same. So I got it, and this piece will go like that. See? Will go right there. I done cutting all those pieces out of vinyl, but if I take it to a sewing machine and start putting together, that design is not going to look it's going to look flat. So what else do I have to do? Because I showed you a picture on the beginning that design, it doesn't look flat. So I'm going to add another piece of material, and this is gonna be fabric, and this is gonna be on the bottom. So make sure to put enough glue in there. On this one you can put a lot of glue just to hold them on there. On the vinyl, it is not necessary. Even I don't recommend you to put a lot of glue on the vinyl. I don't recommend you to do that. Right here, it's okay if you put a lot of glue. And if you see where I am putting a lot of glue, on that part right there, I put a lot of glue in there. Then I flip it over, making sure that pieces doesn't have a wrinkle, and start gluing. And now I'm going to put the material facing up and start creating that form. and I'm giving you a close look in there. I want to make sure you can see it. Start looking beautiful, right? All this is about time. It is time, believe me, it is time. And I am only showing you one. I am taking my time showing you how you can do it. Then I cut that fabric exactly around the binder. And I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of those pieces. And I put those mark 2 on the fabric. This is the top piece. I have to do the same with all those pieces. So I done doing the same thing with the rest of those pieces. So now I can take it to the sewing machine. I can start sewing all those pieces together. And right here is where you need a skill. And here I am on the sewing machine. I'm going to start from the bottom, sewing the bottom all the way to the top. But first I'm going to put those green pieces of vinyl right there. Don't get confused. All of those green pieces are the same. No, are the same. 3 are the same and 3 are different, left and right. And simple. I just start sewing. And make sure those marks match up each other. When you are sewing all those pieces, you will see it's creating, because you are folding the material, you will see it's looking like with a lot of mark. Don't worry about those marks. Don't worry about if those pieces unglued. Even it is better if it unglued the top, know where you are sewing. Because you will put them on the sun or you will put a steamer, and those mark, it will come out easily. It will come out. So don't worry, just make sure to sew it right. And I had those 2 pieces in there. And that black material will unglue during this process. The top piece, nowhere the vinyl and the fabric are gluing. No, not right there. I just change a presser foot because it is easy with this presser foot. I was choosing another one, a different one. And you can see him on the, I'm going to cut right here. It is not necessary to have that excess material in there. And I'm going to do the same. I didn't show you the whole process how to sew in those green pieces with the black. It is not necessary. Just show you how to sew in 2. Now, right here, it will require skill. It will require practicing. So before you are going to sew or make this design, make sure to practice it. Not just cut them and jump to the machine. It is good to do that if you have a lot of time working on car interior. If you have been working on car interior for a long time ago and you're going to do something like this, it is okay to cut them and jump to the machine and start sewing. But I don't recommend you that if you are just start on this tray. And I'm going to start sewing. It's very important. Right here, to those marks match each other, one exactly on top of the other one, right here. Make sure to do that. If you see it, those marks are not matching, my best advice for you is to unstitch it, cut them again, and sew them again. That's my best advice to you right here. One little mistake right here and you have to go back to the table and cut in those pieces. But the good thing is you already have that template. And you see me right there. You see how I fold that vinyl, the top piece? I am folding a lot and it have 3/4 of an inch font. I am not going to show you how you can sew in all these pieces. I just show you in the bottom how you can sew in, and you can figure out. Look at that. Vinyl is unglued. It's coming undone. But don't worry. At the end, I will unglue the black vinyl and that will glue it back, and you will see. So I got the bottom and the top, the first two pieces, and then I'm going to sew this one right there. And it's the same thing. Make sure I start sewing slow. Taking my time. This part right here is critical, guys. It is critical. Practice it before you're going to do something like this, please. Not just go and start sewing. I am saying this for all of those who are learning, but I know there are a lot of expertise on these trays who are subscribed to my channel and they are watching me, and for you guys, I know this is a piece of cake for you too. So I sew in those 3 pieces already, and I will sew the top piece. And it's almost done. And those pieces are done. I'm going to take it to a table and start. First I will cut them on the bottom because you can see a bulk in there, the material. I don't need that material in there. And then I will unglue the vinyl and I will glue it back. So you can see them right now. It's not a big deal. Those wrinkles will come out easily. Easily those wrinkles will come out. But first I will unglue this part and I will put glue. First I will do the bottom piece. Right here, it's not necessary to put a lot of glue either. Not necessary. And those wrinkles right here should come out. Then the rest will come out when you are putting into the seat foam. if you are doing something like this, if you see those wrinkles, if you put a lot of glue, you will be in trouble. Believe me, you will be in trouble, because there will not way how you can remove those wrinkles. I will cut them on the side, and then I will put a stitch around. It is not necessary to do this, but I will show you. The hardest piece, the hardest part, or a cushion or a backrest, it is this part that I just done. That part is the hardest one. Then I go into, you see I had that template. I made that template long time ago because I made this kind of design before, and I have it. That template had 12 inches width. Now I'll just take it to the machine. I will put a stitch on top of that mark. I didn't show you that because that's the easy part. This is the hardest part. I just put a phone under, then I glue the top piece onto that phone, and I put them on the sun. See how all those wrinkles come out? And I just put them on the sun like 40 minutes ago. Or you can use the steamer too. I don't use the steamer. This binder that I use is so cheap. That's why I use this binder. If you put a steamer on the cheap binder, you will ruin it. But you can see how beautiful it looks. That requires time. That requires practice. It requires skill, especially in the sewing machine. The piece that I sewing around is just to give you an idea how it will look on the seat. And then I glue it to the 1/2-inch phone on the bottom. And you can see it. It's all stretchy, it's all fitting good into that piece of foam. It's a big difference. You can see the big difference between the green material and the black binder. Big difference. How it look. So this was just an idea, my friend, how you can make this design. There are a lot of seats who are coming out with modern design, and this design is one of them. Just remember this. If you are trying to make this design, don't get desperate if you don't get it at the first time. Believe me, just relax, keep practicing and practicing and practicing until you get it. Thank you. There are a lot of experts on this trade who are maybe are watching this video. Guys, I know I don't have nothing to show you because you already know, but I know there are a lot of people who are learning these trades, and if you are one of them, keep this video in your favorite. I know it will help you a lot. It will help you to understand how to cut, how you can approach this design. Just be patient and practice it. At the end, you will get it. That will be the most important thing. A few weeks ago, I posted a photo related to this video on my social media, and people were asking me if this video can be possible in English. And here you have it, my friend. I tried my best. I am sharing this video in English. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. If that was your case, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.